Hello students, myself Professor S.J. Rahmat from Department of Civil Engineering, KLS VDIT, Halia. Students, in the last online class, we have discussed about the various topics or few topics related to module number 3 of your syllabus. Today, we'll discuss about few topics mentioned in module number 4. So, because it is not possible to discuss entire topics in a single class per week. So that's why I have already posted the notes related to the different topics or remaining topics of module 3 in WhatsApp group. Just you can go through it. If you have any doubt, ask me personally or mail me. And today we'll discuss, as I told you, few topics of module number 4, in which we'll discuss about the difference between the domestic sewage, which is also called as sanitary sewage, as well as the industrial wastewater. And also we'll discuss about the effect of discharge of industrial wastewater into the stream, and also, if possible, we'll discuss about the treatment methods of industrial wastewater. So let me show you the uh, topics which I cover as first class in module number 4 here. So in the last class, or else in the WhatsApp group itself, I have posted the notes related to numerical problems on disposal of effluents, and also we have discussed Streeter-Phelps equation in that particular notes here. Now, today we'll discuss in detail about the first topic of fourth module, that is difference between domestic and industrial wastewater. Yes, Ruxana,
Yes, sir.
yeah, is it audible now? Yes, is it audible? Prakash, Prakash Gadwad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Now it is PD only. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now
sir.
let me show you. Let me show you. Now, are you
Okay.
able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay then. Okay. Let me continue. Today we'll discuss about the difference between the domestic and industrial wastewater. So this particular topic is in such a way that we cannot find the differences in a single book here. So that's why I referred so many books like Wastewater Treatment by Metcalf Eddy, and also few online notes, etc., etc., to prepare the notes related to this particular topic, that is difference between domestic and industrial wastewater. Sometimes this particular question may be asked in the examination. If you write this much, which I have covered in these notes, that is sufficient. Let me go through the notes. That is, domestic wastewater may be defined as the wastewater excreted from the bathrooms, urinals, and the wash basins, etc. This waste consists of harmful chemicals like phosphorus and needs to be treated as drains in the sewage. This quite loss, or it will be having harmful than the industrial wastewater. So let me explain. What do you mean by this sewage? So the term sewage is used to indicate the mixture of discharges from toilets and urinals, which is also called as sanitary sewage, as well as industrial wastewater, as well as storm runoff. The mixture of all these three is known as sewage. That means the sewage mainly consists of sanitary sewage, that is nothing but the discharge from toilets and urinals, industrial wastewater, as well as storm runoff. Now, the wastewater which is comes out from toilets and urinals, it is mainly known as domestic sewage or domestic wastewater or sanitary sewage. Understood? And the wastewater which comes out from various processes in different industries, it is called as industrial wastewater. So in the treatment of these two, along with storm water, is done in STP here, that is sewage treatment plant. But as you can see in our college campus, we have a STP, that is sewage treatment plant, to treat only the sanitary sewage. That means the sewage or the wastewater generated in toilets and urinals of hostels of our campus here. That means that the wastewater will not be mixed with industrial wastewater. And sometimes what happens in the industries itself, there is a facility of treating the wastewater separately. And after treatment, the effluent may be discharged into the natural water body, as you can see in our college campus itself, near hostels. Near hostels, there is a canal which is provided to carry the treated effluent from Paris sugar industry. Now, as I told you, industrial wastewater may be defined as the wastewater excreted from the industries and the chemical factories. This wastewater consists of harmful chemicals and heavy metal like lead. This wastewater needs to be treated before draining into the river. The sources of domestic wastewater. We can explain the difference between the industrial wastewater and domestic wastewater by considering various factors like sources, causes, etc. here. Now, the sources of domestic wastewater are houses, apartments, commercial places like shopping complexes, theaters, hotels, etc. The sources of industrial wastewater are sugar industries, dairies, and other food processing industries, pharmaceutical industries, ore processing industries, etc. So this difference is there. That means the source of domestic wastewater as well as the sources of industrial wastewater. Now, domestic wastewater is also called as sanitary sewage, is slightly more than 99.9% water by weight. The rest, less than 0.1%, contains a wide variety of dissolved and suspended impurities. So this is because it mainly consists of human excreta. Human excreta, that is nothing but the discharge from toilets and urinals. And although amounting to a very small fraction of impurities by weight, and the large volumes of sewage in which they are carried make the domestic wastewater a significant technical problem. The principal impurities are putrescible organic matter and plant nutrients, but also domestic wastewater contains disease causing microbes. So this is mainly because of the existence of human excreta in the sewage, in the domestic sewage or domestic wastewater. And if you see the industrial wastewater usually contains specific and readily and identifiable chemical compounds depending on the nature of the industrial process here. Now, The amount of producible organic matter in domestic wastewater is indicated by bio-oxygen demand. So that is known as BOD. The BOD is directly proportional to the organic materials present in the sewage, which is the amount of oxygen required by microorganisms to decompose the organic matter of domestic wastewater. The wastewater from the industries like sugar industry, distilleries, and other food processing industries, the BOD levels will be many times than that of the domestic wastewater. So this is because what happens here, there will be a usage of raw materials. Raw materials will impart increased level of BOD for industrial wastewaters here. Now, another important property of domestic wastewater is suspended solids. The volume of sludge produced in treatment plant is directly related to the solids present in the sewage. The industrial wastewater may contain higher concentration of suspended solids. Normally, domestic wastewater flow is calculated based on the water consumption in the respective locality. So this is the difference between the quantity, I can say. Industrial wastewater flow is a function of type and size of the industry, manufacturing process, level of recycling, existence of pre-treatment, etc. So this difference is related to quantity here. Understood? So normally domestic wastewater flow is calculated based on the water consumption. So it is expressed in terms of LPCD, that is liters per capita per day. But the quantity of industrial wastewater mainly depends on the function of type and size of the industry. Understood? Now, biological treatment process like ASP, so that is activated sludge process, and MBBR, that is microbial reactor, that is moving bed biological reactor. It is MBBR means moving bed biological reactor, etc., can be used for the domestic wastewater treatment. So this is the difference between the treatment of domestic wastewater as well as industrial wastewater. That means the treatment methods applied for domestic wastewater, it may be ASP, that is activated sludge process, or it may be MBBR, that is moving bed biological reactor. And biological treatment process cannot be used for treating industrial wastewater. Sometimes this cannot be true here. Sometimes the wastewater which from the few food processing industries as well as sugar industries as well as the distilleries, sometimes these particular processes may also be used. ASP or MBBR may also be used. Such a process you can see in the Paris sugar industry here. So moving bed bioreactor may also be used, or activated sludge process may also be used here. But as it is a time consuming, sometimes it will not be used for the treatment of industrial wastewater. But anyhow, the industrial wastewater from the pharmaceutical industry or processing industry, etc., we cannot use this ASP or MBBR because of the higher concentration of COD here, that is chemical oxygen demand, which is nothing but due to the presence of inorganic complex compounds. We cannot use these biological methods in the treatment of industrial wastewater from iron ore processing industry or pharmaceutical industry or fertilizer and pesticides industry, because as these wastewater will have toxic constituents that render the biological treatment unfeasible, because the toxic constituents of the wastewater will lead in the death of the microbes which are used in the biological treatment. Now, the domestic wastewater won't contain any metals like cadmium, lead, mercury, nickel, zinc, chromium, etc. But some industrial wastewater contain the metal mentioned above, which have adverse effect on human health here. So this particular difference is related to the concentration or the different constituents present in the wastewater. As I told you, the domestic wastewater will not contain any poisonous metals like cadmium, lead or mercury, nickel or zinc, etc. here. But the wastewater from the industry like pharmaceutical industry as well as fertilizers and pesticides industry will have these harmful metals which will adversely affect the human health here. For example, if you consider the nuclear power plant, the wastewater from nuclear power plant will have the higher concentration of cadmium, which leads in the skin cancer. So that's why this is also one of the difference between the domestic wastewater as well as the industrial wastewater. Now, next one is the domestic wastewater cannot be considered as a byproduct and it requires treatment. But some industrial wastewater are considered as byproduct. For example, distillery spent wash can be applied over the fields without any treatment here. So this particular difference is related to the usage of industrial wastewater. So as I told you, we cannot use directly the discharges of toilets and urinals for any purpose here. It cannot be used directly for the gardening purpose or any irrigation purpose here, because it leads in the bad odor as well as it leads in the uh, increased concentration, or it helps in the life of various types of microbes as well as the rats, snakes, etc. here, as it contains nutrients. So, but in few cases like the distillery spent wash, which is nothing but the wastewater from distillery. In distillery, the raw material used is molasses. The molasses is subjected to dilution, and after that it is subjected to distillation process. The end product in distillery is ethyl alcohol, and the wastewater is known as spent wash. And this particular spent wash will having the higher values of BOD and COD. So because of these two values, it will have more nutrient value. Sometimes this particular distillery spent wash may be applied directly over the fields. But researchers have shown that the application of distillery spent wash over the fields leads in the decreased porosity of the soil, and ultimately the application of distillery spent wash to the field will lead in the reduction of the fertility of the soil here. Now, if you come to the adverse effect, the domestic wastewater have no adverse impact on the aquatic life, but flow of industrial effluent will have adverse impact on the aquatic life. As I told you, finally, after treatment, the wastewater is discharged into the natural water body here. So if sometimes, as you can see, the wastewater from septic tank will directly discharge into the drains, and ultimately from drains it will goes to the natural water body. In that case what happens here, the discharges from toilets and urinals will have the nutrient quality, and those nutrients will be used by aquatic life, and that means these will not be having any kind of adverse impact on the life of aquatic animals. But as if you consider the industrial wastewater from the industries like iron ore processing industries, pharmaceutical industries, fertilizer and pesticides industries, chemical industries, etc., will have the poisonous metals like cadmium, zinc, lead, etc. So these will act as poison for aquatic animals, and those will lead in the death of the aquatic life. So these are the few differences between the domestic wastewater as well as industrial wastewater. So to prepare this particular notes, I have referred these books here. So that is, first one is Water Supply and Sanitary Engineering by Rangwala, Wastewater Engineering, Collection, Treatment, Disposal and Reuse by Metcalf and Eddy, and also Sewage Disposal and Air Pollution Engineering by Santosh Kumar Garg, and will not get all the differences in a single book. Students, these topics are very important in sanitary engineering, and also if you join in municipal services, these topics are very important. And also if you want to work as consulting environmental engineer, you should have knowledge about these topics. Now the question may be asked like this, that is, differentiate between domestic wastewater and industrial wastewater. You can write the differences by considering the sources, impacts, as well as the quantity, etc. Okay, so this is about the first topic of module number 4. Now, let me discuss about the next topic, which can be covered in the second class of module number 4 here. Okay, Muhammad Ismail. Muhammad Ismail. Jayashree Hiremat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Are you going through the class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, ma. Okay. Let me continue with the topics which I can cover in the next class of this particular module. Now, as I told you in the previous class, we have discussed about the different, you will get all these notes in WhatsApp group. Okay. So in the last class itself, just now itself, I can say, we have discussed about the difference between the domestic and industrial wastewater. Now, in the second class, in the notes, I have discussed about the two topics, that is, effect of effluent discharge on streams, and also I have discussed the methods of industrial wastewater treatment. Now, and the effect of effluent discharge on streams. This particular topic also will not get in a single book here. After referring so many books, I have written these notes. So that's why this particular notes are very important while answering in the examination if such question is asked in the examination. So let me discuss the discharge of effluent. It may be domestic or industrial, will result in the introduction of organic matter into a water body or streams, which results indirectly in the consumption of dissolved oxygen. This occurs as a result of the process of stabilization of the organic matter undertaken by bacteria, which use the oxygen available in the liquid medium for their respiration. As expected, the decrease in DO concentration in the water body has various implications from the environmental point of view. So let me explain in brief. Whenever the industrial wastewater, or else I can say the sewage, as I told you, sewage is nothing but the mixture of discharge from toilets and urinals, as well as the industrial wastewater, as well as the storm runoff here. Okay, if such sewage is discharged into the natural water body or streams, so as it contains the nutrients, so there will be usage of these nutrients or complex organic compounds by the bacteria as their food, and ultimately there will be a multiplication of these bacteria, and they use the dissolved oxygen concentration of water. So ultimately there will be a reduction in the dissolved oxygen concentration. So this we have discussed in previous module. That is, it is very that is DO-SAC curve. DO-SAC curve. So that is because of deoxygenation. Deoxygenation, and at the same time there will be another process, that is reoxygenation, to maintain the required dissolved oxygen concentration. That is nothing but the natural purification, or the purification of self purification of natural waters. Without treating the water, without treating the water or wastewater, it should not be discharged into the natural water body here. And second one, I can say flow regulations in the water body. So this sometimes cannot be monitored, and this is not monitored for the small towns like Halyal, etc. here. But in few metropolitan cities, such flow regulations in the water body, that means how much quantity of wastewater is joined into the natural water body, is has been calculated. So there will be some arrangement to calculate the flow of wastewater into the natural water body. So there will be certain gauge. There may be provision of gauges to regulate the wastewater flow into the natural water body. Understood? And aeration of the water body here. So this is again nothing but the self purification of natural waters. So sometimes the treatment methods, aerobic lagoons may also be provided, so that sufficient oxygen from the atmosphere is absorbed by the water, which is used for the dilution purpose. And also the aeration of treated water. So After going through the various processes which we have explained in module number 2 here, or the topics related to module number 2, that is, we have seen the treatment of water. That means the wastewater is subjected to various physical, chemical, as well as biological processes. Finally, we'll get the effluent. After testing the dissolved oxygen concentration of the treated effluent if it is not in the required level. That means the minimum concentration of treated effluent should not be less than 8 mg per liter. If it is less than 8 mg per liter, then certain aeration methods. Aeration, it is nothing but the addition of artificial method of addition of oxygen to the water here. That means even after treatment also, the effluent of wastewater is having less dissolved oxygen concentration, it may be subjected to some aeration process here. Now, second effect I can say is contamination by pathogenic bacteria. A water body or stream receiving the wastewater or sewage may incorporate into itself a wide range of pathogenic bacteria or organisms. This fact may not generate a direct impact on the aquatic organisms themselves, but may affect some of the prevailing uses of water, such as potable water supply, irrigation, and bathing here. So as I told you, the water in the natural stream, initially it may be pure. When the water, the wastewater or the treated effluent is discharged into such waters, so it leads in the growth of various pathogenic as well as non-pathogenic bacteria. Then what happens here? Sometimes the bacteria like Salmonella type, paratype, etc., paratype, etc., will lead in the waterborne diseases like typhoid, dysentery, etc. Waterborne diseases. And next one I can say is eutrophication of lakes and reservoirs. So, what do you mean by this eutrophication? Eutrophication is the excessive growth of aquatic plants, either planktonic or attached or rooted. So this is eutrophication, means that is enormous growth of aquatic plants. Such eutrophication you can see in stagnant water bodies. Understood? You can see a green layer on the surface of the water. So that is because of this particular process, that is eutrophication. So this is mainly due to the higher concentration of nutrients here. If the sewage is discharged into the stagnant water, there will be increased concentration of nutrients, which leads in the enormous growth of aquatic plants. And that particular stage or that particular process is known as eutrophication. And eutrophication will cause interference with the desired uses of the water body here. That means it may lead in the bad odor, as well as it is very poor if you consider the aesthetic view of such waters, and aesthetically it is not good. So that's why these are the few effects. I can say eutrophication is the adverse effect when the wastewater is discharged into the natural stream. And next effect I can say is electrical conductivity. So if the industrial wastewater, as I told you, industrial wastewater along with the domestic wastewater are discharged into the streams, it results in the increased conductivity here. Electrical conductivity or total dissolved solids is a measure of flow, measure of how much total salts. It may be inorganic ions such as sodium, chloride, magnesium, calcium is present in water. If the conductivity of stream suddenly increases, it indicates that there is a source of dissolved ions in the vicinity, which adversely affect the aquatic life. So sometimes this, if the conductivity is more, then it may lead in the death of aquatic plants and animals. Now, next effect, that is heavy metals. Heavy metals, that is like Pb, that is lead, Cu, copper, Cd, that is cadmium, are among major toxic pollutants in surface waters. These have been found to be a problem in streams abutted by catchment with factories dealing with tanning, smelting, welding, renovation, manufacturing, and disposal of car batteries, petroleum, and oils industry. So, sixth effect I can say is temperature. Most wastewaters have higher temperature than natural water when discharged into a water body. It increases the temperature of water, causing an unfavorable condition for aquatic life, which tend to the migration of some aquatic animals and eventually death. So this happens from the backwater from hydroelectric power plant. Understood? So even though the hydroelectric power plant sometimes considered as the environmental friendly method of getting the power or electric power here, the backwater, that means the whenever the water used after rotation of the turbines, so there will be increased temperature of the water. And if this particular backwater from hydroelectric power plant is discharged into the natural water body, there will be increased temperature, which may leads in the death of few aquatic animals here. And at the same time, in case of thermal power plant also, after cooling the steam which is used for the rotation of the turbines, we are getting the hot water. If this particular hot water or the water with higher temperature is discharged into the natural water body, it results in the increased temperature of receiving water body, which may lead in the death or migration of few fishes and other aquatic animals. And next one is salinity. Next effect I can say is salinity. So salinity is mainly due to the ions like sodium, potash, calcium, magnesium, and chloride, and predominates soil can become sodic. Heavy metals like lead, copper, cadmium, etc., when contained in irrigation water, reduces the fertility of soil, causing reduced production of plants, sometimes causes death also. So such condition you can observe in the nearby localities where the industries are situated or few power plants like nuclear power plants are situated. Such problem you can observe in NPCL, that is Nuclear Power Corporation Limited, Kaiga here. So if at all the wastewater from nuclear power plant is discharged without treatment to the natural water body, then if that particular water is used for irrigation, it may lead in the decreased yield of crops, or sometimes it may lead in the death of the crops. And eighth one I can say is oil and grease removal. Some industrial effluents contain oil and grease, which makes it hard for the conventional water treatment to remove these pollutants except some advanced treatment are applied. Some wastewater may be muddy when transported to the water treatment plant. It settles in the transport system and causing plugging in the tanks. Effluent with high organic matter contains low dissolved oxygen, in which proper aeration must be done before treatment. So these 8 effects you can write in the examination. That is sufficient to get the required marks. Understood? Now the next topic mentioned in your syllabus of module number 4, that is methods of industrial wastewater treatment. For this topic also will not get the entire topic required as per our syllabus in a single book here. So that's why I have prepared this particular notes, and this is sufficient as far as examination as well as knowledge is concerned. Knowledge as per knowledge for UG level. Understood? Before this of industrial wastewater treatment, we should have some knowledge about the importance of industrial wastewater treatment. Now, Ashwini Patil. Ashwini Patil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you going through the notes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay, let me continue. That is, before discussing the methods of industrial wastewater, let me discuss about the importance of industrial wastewater treatment. So, industries use water that is obtained from water treatment system for variety of purpose, such as manufacturing goods, for heating, for cooling, as a carrier of raw material, as carrier of waste matter, as a solvent, etc. So this is regarding the usage of water, or the purpose of water, or the uses of water in various industries. Like you can give example for various types of purposes here. That is manufacturing goods. For example, I can say in RO plant itself. In a RO plant itself, the final product will be mineral water. It also leads in the generation of some kind of wastewater. You can see in your houses itself. If you go for Kent or Aquaguard, etc. So there will be generation of wastewater, and that particular water cannot be used. That is discharged through wash basins. Okay, so manufacturing goods itself. If the manufacturing good, it is nothing but the mineral water for heating purpose. As I told you, in sometimes for heating itself. Like I can say in the thermal power plant. In the thermal power plant, again, the water is converted into steam here. After rotation of the turbine, again the steam is subjected to cooling process, and there will be again conversion of water. So that particular water will be having the increased temperature here. Like this, for various purposes, the water is used in various types of industries. So that's why we have to treat the water. And the indiscriminate discharge of wastewater stream into the environment can render soil sick, pollute the receiving water bodies of water, and causes air pollution by generating obnoxious gases. So it is not possible to explain the entire thing here. So just you can read the notes, and because it is not possible to explain the entire topics in a class of 1 hour here. So you have to read a lot of books and current affairs, etc., to understand this particular statement. Understood? And next reason is that why the wastewater is treated. So let me read only. That is, discharge of untreated industrial wastewater into the domestic sewer system makes the tasks of treating domestic sewage a very difficult and costly exercise here. Understand? Whenever, as I told you, sewage is nothing but the mixture of the discharges from toilets and urinals, industrial wastewater, as well as the storm runoff. Sometimes, if the industrial wastewater consists of some specific contaminants like lead, cadmium, etc., then it is very difficult in the treatment of such sewage, which contains the such industrial wastewater. And another aim of treating the industrial wastewater is to prevent any health hazards caused by discharging wastewater into the environment and protect domestic sewage. The industrial wastewater must be treated before discharge. As I told you, the domestic sewage won't contain any kind of poisonous metal here. So if the industrial wastewater without treatment is joined with the domestic wastewater, then ultimately there will be a contamination of domestic sewage also. So that's why we have to treat the industrial wastewater. And the important contaminants of concern in wastewater, it is industrial wastewater, are suspended solids, nutrients, priority pollutants, refractory organics, heavy metals, dissolved inorganics, etc. So this is because of various processes involved in the industries here. It's a huge topic. Possible to explain the entire things in a class of 1 hour. Understood? Now, let us discuss about, in brief, the treatment of industrial wastewater. The aim of treatment is to remove pollutants from the wastewater and render it fit for safe discharge to the environment. In view of the increasing demand of raw water and decreasing its availability, mere end of pipe treatment is not the answer to the pollution control. Reuse, recycling, and where possible, byproduct recovery must become an integral part of the treatment scheme. Experience shows that it is possible to achieve this goal without incurring heavy expenditures. In many cases, the practice of reuse, recycling, and byproduct recovery has resulted in not only meet the operating cost but also offering an attractive payback period to the industry. So Such things you can see in sugar industry or in some distilleries here. For example, the spent wash. Spent wash, nowadays it is treated using the incineration process. Whatever the spent wash comes out from the distillery is burnt, and the ash produced may be converted into fertilizer, and this fertilizer will generate some revenue for the industry. So this is one example I can say. We have so many examples like this. Understood? Now come to the methods of treating the industrial wastewater. So broadly, the methods of treating the industrial wastewater can be classified as physical methods. So the physical methods include the screening, that is to reduce the floating matter, sedimentation, that is to reduce the concentration of suspended solids, flotation, that is to reduce the oil and grease concentration of the wastewater, filtration, that is to reduce again the suspended solids as well as bacterial load, mixing, it is nothing but again the dilution process, after that drying, so this is nothing but the sludge drying, and the sludge may also be subjected to incineration, and sometimes it may be freezing dialysis, sometimes osmosis. Osmosis is to reduce the bacterial concentration of the wastewater, and absorption, gas transfer, etc. So these are the modern methods. Don't you worry about all these methods. So just you should have some idea about the physical methods of treating the industrial wastewater. Understood? That is sufficient as far as your academics is concerned. So just you keep in mind the different physical methods. Understood? And apart from these physical methods, the industrial wastewater may be treated using few chemical methods like the pH correction, so coagulation, softening, disinfection, etc. So sometimes what happens here, if at all the industrial wastewater is subjected to some uh, biological processes like aerobic digestion or anaerobic digestion. For the proper growth or proper multiplication of the aerobic as well as anaerobic bacteria, we have to adjust the pH level here, because some of the bacteria will not survive at acidic pH, or some of the bacteria will not survive in alkaline media. So that's why we have to adjust the pH. By adding acid, we can reduce the pH, or by adding lime, we can increase the pH. And coagulation. So that is to reduce the suspended solids as well as colloidal solids concentration. So whenever the coagulants are added to the water, it leads in the formation of precipitation, and that particular precipitation will arrest the suspended solids. Ultimately, there will be increase in the weight of the precipitate, and there will be a settlement of these suspended solids with the faster velocity at the bottom of the tank. And softening, I can say this is nothing but to reduce the hardness of the water, and disinfection. Sometimes the wastewater from the industries like dairies, food processing industry, etc., will have higher concentration of BOD, which leads in the growth of various pathogenic bacteria. To kill those pathogenic bacteria, the industrial wastewater may be subjected to disinfection process. So all these methods will be studied under the heading that is chemical methods. Apart from these chemical methods, the industrial wastewater can also be treated using few biological methods. That is basically, as I told you, ASP, that is activated sludge process, and the MBBR, that is moving bed bioreactors, or sludge digester, or fixed bed bioreactors. So these are the few biological methods I can say. Understood? So these are the few methods, and if you want some more information or the brief explanation of different methods of treatment, that is physical, chemical, as well as biological treatment methods, you can refer the page numbers 12 to 21 of book Industrial Wastewater Treatment by A.D. Patwa. The copies of these books are available in VDIT library. Just you can go through this particular book. So I have prepared the notes by referring all these books here. So that is water supply engineering, water supply and sanitary engineering by Ranwala, wastewater engineering, collection, treatment, disposal and reuse by Metcalf and Etty, sewage disposal and air pollution engineering by Santosh Kumar Garg, as well as industrial wastewater treatment by A.D. Patworth. So, as I told you, these topics are very important in sanitary engineering, in municipal services, and also if you want to work as a consulting environmental engineer. So, the question may be asked like this, that is, briefly explain the effect of industrial wastewater discharge into the stream. Okay, so in the next online class, we'll discuss the various methods of treatment of industrial wastewater. In that, we'll discuss about the processes like volume reduction, strength reduction, equalization, removal of organic, inorganic, as well as colloidal solids, etc. We'll discuss, and meanwhile, I will post the notes related to all these topics in the regular classes. Thank you, one and all. Yes, Jai Shri Hiremat. Jai Shri Hiremat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now the class is over. Let me conclude. Okay, thank you,
Yes,
one
sir.
and all. Okay, you can leave.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Abhishek. Prakash.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it? Let me conclude the class. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
You get